The story opens in the year 2387 aboard the alien vessel Night Hunter, a sleek Predator-class ship belonging to the Helix Empire. Captain Vex commands a crew of 12 elite warriors, each from different conquered worlds. Their mission seems simple: scout the small, blue planet in the Sol system that their long-range sensors detected. The Helix Empire has dominated 17 star systems over 3 centuries. They are known throughout the galaxy as merciless conquerors who strip planets of resources before moving on. Their technology is advanced, their weapons devastating, and their tactics brutal. No species has ever successfully resisted them for more than a few months. As the Night Hunter approaches Earth's outer solar system, the crew discusses their expectations. Scout Leader Rex examines the primitive electromagnetic signals coming from the planet. The inhabitants seem to be in their early space age, barely capable of reaching their own moon consistently. Intelligence Officer Nix calculates that conquest should take no more than 6 standard days. Captain Vex reviews the standard protocol: disable communications, destroy military installations, eliminate resistance leaders, and establish mining operations. It has worked flawlessly on every world they have encountered. The crew shares stories of their easiest conquests, laughing about species that surrendered without firing a single shot. However, as they cross the asteroid belt, strange readings begin appearing on their sensors. The humans have more satellites than expected, much more. Thousands of objects orbit their planet, and many appear to be weaponized. Navigation Officer Jacques reports unusual energy signatures coming from multiple locations on the planet's surface and from several of its moons. First sign of trouble comes when they detect a massive structure on the far side of Earth's moon. It appears to be some kind of military installation, far more sophisticated than their initial intelligence suggested. Captain Vex orders a closer scan, but before they can complete it, alarms begin blaring throughout the ship. 12 human vessels have appeared from nowhere, surrounding the Night Hunter in a perfect spherical formation. These ships are unlike anything in the Helix Empire's databases. They are sleek, angular, and bristling with weapon systems that pulse with strange energy. The humans have somehow detected their approach and laid a trap. Commander Jake's voice crackles over the communication system, speaking in perfect Helix language. "Alien vessel, you have violated Earth defense perimeter. You have 30 seconds to surrender or face the consequences." The bridge falls silent. In 300 years of conquest, no species has ever detected them first, spoken their language, or issued ultimatums. Captain Vex realizes with growing horror that everything they thought they knew about humans is wrong. The situation deteriorates rapidly when Weapons Officer Zack attempts to target the human ships. The Night Hunter's weapon systems refuse to lock on. The humans are using some kind of interference technology that renders their targeting computers useless. Meanwhile, the human ships begin powering up weapons that register energy levels far beyond anything in Helix records. As the 30-second deadline approaches, Captain Vex faces an impossible choice. The Helix Empire has never retreated, never shown weakness. But the tactical situation is becoming clearer by the second. The humans have not only detected them, but have been tracking them since they entered the solar system. This was not a chance encounter, but a carefully orchestrated interception. The final moments of Part 1 show the crew realizing they have walked into a trap set by a species they thought was primitive. The humans demonstrate their technological superiority by effortlessly jamming all of the Night Hunter systems, while simultaneously broadcasting detailed information about the Helix Empire's fleet positions, military capabilities, and recent conquest history. Captain Vex stares at the tactical display showing 12 human ships that could destroy them at any moment. For the first time in his military career, he considers the unthinkable: retreat. The chapter ends with his hand hovering over the surrender beacon, while his crew watches in stunned silence as everything they believed about human weakness crumbles around them. The humans wait patiently, their weapons charged and ready, giving the aliens just enough time to understand how completely they have been outmaneuvered. Earth's defense grid activates in the background, revealing a military infrastructure that spans the entire solar system and extends far beyond what any galactic power has achieved. The stage is set for a confrontation that will shatter the Helix Empire's confidence and reveal humanity as a force unlike any they have ever encountered. Asterisk. Captain Vex decides against surrender, believing his crew can fight their way out. He orders Weapons Officer Zack to fire everything they have at the nearest human ship. The Night Hunter's plasma cannons roar to life, unleashing enough destructive force to level a small city. The energy beams strike the human vessel directly. Nothing happens. The human ship sits motionless, completely undamaged. Its hull doesn't even show scorch marks. Commander Jake's voice returns, now carrying a tone of disappointment. That was unwise. Allow us to demonstrate the difference between our capabilities. What follows changes everything the Helix Empire believes about warfare. The human ship that absorbed their attack begins to glow with a soft blue light. Without firing a single weapon, it somehow causes the Night Hunter shields to simply disappear. Not destroyed or overloaded, they vanish as if they never existed. Engineer Dex frantically works at his console, trying to understand what happened. His readings show impossible results. The humans have somehow reversed the polarity of their shield generators from a distance, turning their own defensive systems against them. It is technology so advanced that the Helix Empire has no words for it. The demonstration continues. A second human ship approaches slowly, almost casually. It extends what appears to be a simple scanning beam toward the Night Hunter. Within seconds, every computer system aboard the alien vessel begins displaying human text. The aliens watch in horror as their own ship's computers are rewritten in real time. Navigation. Officer Jocks reports that their star charts are being replaced with detailed maps of human space. These maps reveal the truth that shakes the crew to their core. Humanity doesn't just control Earth. They control over 40 star systems. Their territory is 3 times larger than the entire Helix Empire, and it has been hidden from galactic sensors for decades. The maps show massive shipyards, defensive platforms, and military academies scattered across human space. There are installations marked with symbols the aliens don't recognize, suggesting technologies beyond their understanding. Most disturbing of all, the maps include detailed information about every Helix military base, fleet position, and planned invasion route. Communications Officer Lex tries desperately to contact their home fleet, but discovers that the humans are now controlling their transmission systems. Instead of reaching Helix Command, his messages are being broadcast to human vessels throughout the solar system. Dozens of additional ships begin appearing on their sensors, each one larger and more heavily armed than the last. The largest human vessel that appears is a massive dreadnought called the Terra's Wrath. It dwarfs the Night Hunter completely, easily 10 times their size. Captain Vex realizes this single ship could probably destroy their entire invasion fleet single-handedly. Yet the humans deploy it with casual confidence, as if it were just another patrol vessel. Admiral Smith's voice joins the communication. Channel from the dreadnought. Captain Vex, we have been monitoring Helix Empire activities for quite some time. Your species has developed a reputation for conquest and destruction. We have decided this behavior must end. The Admiral explains that humans have been secretly observing the Helix Empire's conquests for over 50 years. They watched as the aliens destroyed peaceful civilizations and stripped entire worlds of life. Earth's government made a decision long ago. The Helix Empire would be stopped when they finally reached Human space. What terrifies the alien crew most is learning that this encounter was planned. The humans allowed them to approach Earth, let them feel confident, and then demonstrated their complete technological superiority. It was never about defending Earth. It was about sending a message back to the Helix Empire. The demonstration reaches its climax when Admiral Smith casually mentions that human ships are currently positioned outside every major Helix military installation. The invasion fleet that was supposed to conquer Earth is surrounded and outgunned in their own home systems. The Helix Empire's 300-year reign of terror can be ended with a single command. Captain Vex asks the question that haunts him. What do you want from us? Admiral Smith's answer is simple. Complete withdrawal from all conquered territories and an end to your empire's expansion. You have 7 days to begin evacuating every world you have taken by force. Any resistance will result in the complete dismantling of your civilization. The chapter ends with the crew of the Night Hunter understanding that they are not prisoners of war, they are messengers. The humans are sending them home to deliver an ultimatum that will forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. Predators have become prey, and Earth's mercy is the only thing standing between the Helix Empire and total annihilation. Asterisk. Captain Vex refuses to accept defeat. Despite everything he has witnessed, 3 centuries of Helix superiority cannot be overturned by a single encounter. He believes there must be a way to escape and warn his empire about this unexpected threat. His pride as a Helix warrior will not allow him to simply surrender and carry human messages like a servant. He quietly signals his crew using their internal communication system, hoping the humans haven't completely infiltrated their ship's systems. His plan is simple. Create a distraction and use their experimental jump drive to escape. The jump drive is new Helix technology, not yet deployed fleet-wide. Perhaps the humans don't know about it. Engineer Dex begins slowly charging the jump drive while pretending to run routine diagnostics. Weapons Officer Zack prepares to overload their reactor core, creating an explosion that might damage the nearby human ships and provide cover for their escape. It is a desperate plan, but Captain Vex believes it is their only option. The plan begins when Zack triggers the reactor overload. The Night Hunter erupts in a brilliant explosion that should have vaporized everything within a kilometer radius. Captain Vex watches through the blinding light, expecting to see damaged human vessels and a clear escape route. Instead, he sees something impossible. The explosion is contained within a perfect sphere around their ship. The humans have somehow created a containment field that captures the entire blast and prevents it from expanding. The deadly energy that should have destroyed multiple ships is simply absorbed and neutralized. Commander Jake's voice returns, now clearly amused. Captain, your reactor technology is quite impressive. We have been studying Helix energy systems for decades, but seeing one overload in person provides valuable data. Thank you for the demonstration. A failed explosion reveals another disturbing truth. The humans are not just defending themselves. They are studying Helix technology in real time. Every weapon fired, every system activated, every desperate attempt at escape provides them with more information about their enemy's capabilities. Undeterred, Captain Vex orders Engineer Dex to activate the jump drive. This is their secret weapon, their newest technology. The humans cannot possibly know about experimental systems that haven't been deployed yet. The jump drive powers up successfully, creating the familiar spatial distortion that should transport them instantly back to Helix space. Nothing happens. The jump drive is working perfectly, generating enough energy to tear a hole in space-time itself, but they remain exactly where they started, surrounded by human ships. Navigation Officer Jocks stares at his instruments in confusion. According to every sensor, they should be thousands of light years away. Admiral Smith explains what has happened with casual indifference. Your jump drive technology is based on controlled spatial manipulation. Quite clever, actually. Unfortunately, we have been using similar systems for over a century. We are currently generating a spatial anchor that prevents any faster-than-light travel within this region. The Admiral continues, revealing more terrifying information. We should mention that similar anchors are now active around every Helix military installation. Your Empire's ships are currently unable to jump between systems. We thought it best to prevent any hasty military responses while you consider our proposal. Captain Vex realizes the full scope of human preparation. This is not a defensive action. It is a coordinated military operation. It has simultaneously neutralized the entire Helix Empire. While he was planning to escape and warn his people, the humans were already implementing their ultimatum across dozens of star systems. The crew makes one final desperate attempt. Communications Officer Lex tries to send a coded message using their quantum entanglement transmitter, a system that should work regardless of jamming. The message is designed to alert Helix Command about the human threat and coordinate a response. Message is sent successfully, but the response they receive destroys their last hope. The reply comes not from Helix Command, but from human forces already positioned in their home system. Admiral Chun's voice broadcasts from the heart of Helix space. Message received and analyzed. Please inform Captain Vex that his government is currently reviewing our terms. The Night Hunter's crew sits in stunned silence as they realize their empire is already defeated. There will be no rescue mission, no military response, no glorious battle to restore Helix honor. The humans have outmaneuvered them so completely that escape was never even a possibility. Captain Vex finally understands that every action he has taken was anticipated and countered before he even thought of it. The humans have been planning this confrontation for decades, studying Helix tactics and technology until they could predict and prevent every possible response. The chapter ends with the crew accepting their role as messengers, understanding that their survival depends entirely on human mercy, and that their mighty empire now exists only because Earth chooses to allow it. Admiral Smith decides the time has come for complete honesty. He invites Captain Vex and his senior officers to board the Terras, wrath for a meeting that will forever change their understanding of the galaxy. The alien crew hesitates, but they have no choice. Their ship is completely under human control, and resistance is pointless. The transport to the human dreadnought reveals more disturbing truths. The Terra's wrath is not just a warship, it is a mobile city. Thousands of humans work within its corridors, operating technologies that seem like magic to Helix eyes. The ship's interior is clean, efficient, and peaceful, showing no signs of the military aggression the aliens expected. Captain Vex notices something strange about the human crew. They are not just soldiers, but scientists, engineers, doctors, and teachers. Children play in recreational areas while their parents work. This is not a military vessel in the traditional sense. It is a complete society capable of surviving independently in space. Admiral Smith leads them to a conference room where the walls display star charts covering the entire known galaxy. What the aliens see there shakes them to their core. The human territory they discovered earlier is just the beginning. Humanity has secret bases, research stations, and colonies in every major star system. They have been expanding quietly for over 2 centuries, while other species fought each other for scraps. The Admiral begins explaining the truth about human history and their relationship with the galaxy. Humanity achieved faster-than-light travel. 300 years ago, around the same time the Helix Empire began its expansion. But instead of conquering worlds, humans chose a different path. They became observers, watching other species make contact, form alliances, and build civilizations. They studied galactic politics, learned every language, and mastered every technology. They encountered While empires like the Helix rose and fell, humans quietly positioned themselves to become the galaxy's hidden guardians. The revelation that stuns Captain Vex most is learning about humanity's role in galactic affairs. Many conflicts that seemed natural were actually prevented or resolved by human intervention. Trade routes that appeared safe were protected by hidden human fleets. Technologies that advanced rapidly were aided by anonymous human research. Admiral Smith shows them recordings from dozens of worlds that the Helix Empire believed they had conquered easily. In each case, human forces had already evacuated civilian populations, disabled military systems, and arranged for the quickest possible surrender to minimize casualties. The Helix Empire's reputation for swift conquest was built on battles they never actually fought. The Admiral explains humanity's philosophy. We learned long ago that true strength comes not from conquest, but from protection. Every species in this galaxy has the right to develop naturally, to make their own choices, and to find their own path among the stars. This philosophy led to humanity's greatest achievement, a secret network of protected species. Civilizations that the galaxy believes are extinct are actually thriving under human protection on hidden worlds. Refugees from conquered planets have been relocated to safe territories where they can rebuild their cultures. Captain Vex learns that his own species was offered this protection centuries ago, before they became conquerors. Early Helix explorers made contact with human scouts and were invited to join a peaceful galactic community. The Helix leadership rejected this offer, choosing instead to build their empire through force. The humans waited patiently, hoping the Helix Empire would eventually abandon their aggressive expansion. They provided subtle guidance, prevented some of their worst atrocities, and protected species that couldn't defend themselves. But when the Helix finally approached Earth, humanity decided the time for patience had ended. Admiral Smith reveals the most shocking truth of all: the ultimatum is not a threat, but an opportunity. Humanity has the power to destroy the Helix Empire completely, but they prefer to offer redemption. The conquered worlds will be liberated, but the Helix people themselves can choose to join the galactic community as equals rather than conquerors. The meeting ends with EO, Captain Vex, understanding that everything he believed about strength, power, and survival was wrong. The humans have achieved dominance not through fear and destruction, but through wisdom and cooperation. They control the galaxy not by conquering it, but by protecting it. As they return to the Night Hunter, the alien crew carries more than just an ultimatum. They carry the knowledge that their species has a choice: continue as conquerors and face extinction, or abandon their empire and discover what it means to be part of something greater than themselves. The chapter concludes with Captain Vex realizing that the real battle is not between human and alien technology, but between two completely different philosophies of existence. Captain Vex and his crew are released with their ship fully repaired and upgraded with human technology. The Night Hunter now carries systems far more advanced than anything in the Helix Empire's arsenal. But these improvements come with a message. Humanity's generosity extends even to their enemies, but their patience has limits. The journey back to Helix space takes 3 days, during which the crew struggles to process everything they have learned. They are returning not as conquering heroes, but as bearers of impossible news. How do you tell a warrior empire that everything they believe about strength and power is wrong? Engineer Dex spends hours studying the human upgrades to their ship. The new systems are elegant, efficient, and powerful beyond anything he has ever seen. What disturbs him most is realizing that these improvements were installed as an afterthought, a casual demonstration of human technological superiority. The crew debates what they will tell their superiors. Scout leader Rex argues for complete honesty, believing their empire needs to understand the reality of their situation. Weapons officer Zach advocates for selective reporting, fearing that the full truth will cause panic and chaos throughout Helix society. Communications Officer. Lex raises the most troubling question. Will anyone believe them? Their story sounds impossible, even to themselves. A species that has remained hidden for centuries, technology that makes Helix achievements look primitive, and a philosophy of protection rather than conquest. It challenges everything there. Civilization stands for dot as they approach Helix Prime, the Empire's capital world. They discover that human ships have already been there. The orbital defense platforms are offline, not destroyed, but simply deactivated. The massive invasion fleet that was preparing to attack Earth sits motionless in space, their weapons and engines shut down by human technology. The crew realizes that their dramatic journey was completely unnecessary. While they were learning about human power firsthand, humanity had already demonstrated their capabilities to the entire Helix Empire. Every military installation, every warship, every weapon system has been neutralized with the same casual efficiency they witnessed. At Earth. Captain Vex contacts Helix Command and receives permission to land, but the response is strangely subdued. The proud, aggressive tone that usually characterizes Helix communications has been replaced by uncertainty and fear. His commanders know something terrible has happened, but they are waiting for answers. The debriefing takes place in the Empire's highest security chamber, attended by the Supreme Council of War. Captain Vex presents his report with military precision, describing each stage of their encounter with humanity. The Council listens in growing horror as he explains the scope of human preparation and technological superiority. When he finishes, the chamber falls silent. General Max, the Empire's most decorated warrior, asks the question everyone is thinking. How many ships do they have? Captain Vex's answer destroys the last of their confidence. Enough to end us without effort, but they prefer to give us a choice. The debate that follows reveals the deep divisions within Helix leadership. Some council members argue for immediate surrender, recognizing that resistance is impossible. Others demand a fight to the death, believing that honor requires them to die as warriors rather than submit to alien demands. Supreme Commander Tor, leader of the Helix Empire for over 40 years, makes the final decision. He announces that the Empire will comply with human demands, beginning immediate evacuation of all conquered worlds. The decision is not based on cowardice, but on the realization that their species' survival depends on adaptation. The evacuation process begins within hours. Helix forces across 17 star systems receive orders to withdraw to their home territories and cease all aggressive operations. The empire that took 3 centuries to build begins dismantling itself in a matter of days, not through defeat in battle, but through recognition of a superior force. Captain Vex is reassigned from military service to diplomatic corps, tasked with establishing formal relations with humanity. His first mission is to return to Earth and negotiate the terms of Helix integration into the galactic community. The warrior becomes an ambassador, symbolizing his species' transformation from conquerors to participants. The story concludes with the Night Hunter once again approaching Earth, but this time carrying diplomatic credentials rather than invasion plans. Captain Vex reflects on how completely his worldview has changed and wonders if his species can truly abandon their warrior culture for something entirely new. As Earth grows larger in their view screen, he realizes that the real journey is just beginning. The Helix Empire is dead, but the Helix people might finally have a chance to discover what they could become when they stop trying to conquer the galaxy and start trying to understand it. The final scene shows human and Helix ships working together to relocate refugees from the liberated worlds, beginning a new chapter in galactic history where strength is measured not by the worlds you conquer, but by the lives you protect. The end asterisk.